closer to.
All right, everybody, welcome into the. Whoa, wait a second. Let me get this right. And okay, I think we're all good here. All right, welcome into the High Noon Stream. I am Pugs Moran. We do this each and every Monday through Friday. 1, 2, 3. It's always after my kid is here. It's always a little bit. He's not allowed to touch this stuff, but somehow everything's always a little. The levels are always a little bit off on Mondays. All right, we'll start again. Welcome into the High Noon Show. I am Pugs Moran. We do this each and every Monday through Friday. Noon till whenever. Noon till typically about 2 o'clock. This is the first of 2 streams that we do each and every day here on the Radio Misfits podcast platform. The first one is this, and the second one is Pillow Talk. That's Pugs and Parker proudly present Pillow Talk. It's myself and James Parker, and that show airs or streams, depending on what you're comfortable using, every Monday through Thursday evening at 9 p.m. So noon, Monday through Friday. We give you topics here. Topics, current events, headlines, trends, all of that stuff. If it's happening, I tell you what it is. And we do this Monday through Friday, noon till 2. And then there's the more conversational one with me and Parker. That's Pillow Talk. That comes up at 9 p.m. Monday through Thursday. And that's just us. It's topical. We talk about topics, but it's not necessarily current events driven like this show is. All right, right here at the start. Hold on. So we're monitoring. Or I am monitoring. Hold on, give me a second here. Make that maybe just a little bit louder for a second. Well, those of you who listen with regularity, we know we do this show here from North Texas. We are in Highland Park, which is inside, smack dab in the middle of Dallas. We call it the 1%er compound. And we got some stuff happening in Dallas, boy. Let me tell you, right here, I've been listening to this all morning. What we've got pulled up is the Dallas County Fire and Rescue channel. This is not the police. Typically, the scanners, I'll be listening to police channels and police calls. Now, but this is today is the day for the firemen and the rescuers and the divers, and I don't know what the hell today is, but let's give this a listen just for a second. They were working a rescue of somebody who was completely submerged in water at the corner of John Carpenter and Mockingbird, which is really just a couple of miles from here. It's just that way, just on the other side of Love Field, just west of Love Field. So that's what I was listening to. But now there is another one. There's another high water rescue that is happening at Keast and Hampton, which is further south. It's is that like, that's not Bishop Arts. Is that like Oak Cliff, somewhere in there? I don't know where that is. All right. What not? So now that I want to check in and see what the latest rescue is, now we're not getting any sound. All right, here we go. Oh boy. April says, I'll start doing this because I do like this. James showed me how to do this. See what we can do? We can put your chat room comments now up there. Right there in the big room where everybody can see. I'm staying put in Waco. 1 year ago, my house flooded from a flash flood. Looks like we will be good this time. All right, so chat roomers and regulars. Where? 51 on channel 1. Oh, let me hear this. Come on. Respond. They are so busy. Dallas Fire is so busy right now. They are. There are fire trucks everywhere. I don't know if you've been out today. I have been out. Oh, I was lucky enough to have this be the first time of the new school year where I get to wake up early on a Monday morning and drive my kid up to school. He goes to school about 10 miles from where I live. He's up there in Plano. So, we get up at, typically we'll get up at 6:45. Today we got up at like 6:15 because we knew there was crazy weather last night. And I was like, oh, it's going to be so hard. Things are going to be flooded.
Truck 33, you may disregard. Nothing found.
It's going to take us forever to get all the way up. going to take us forever to get up to Plano.
33, if you would update the comment section for the PD.
Yes, if you would. That would be very helpful. The comment.
Thank you.
Comment section needs to be updated. So, we left the house about 7:15, just driving, rainstorm, crazy, man. And I went all the way from, just to give you an idea of where I would have started. So let's say Mockingbird and the Tollway, all the way up to like, Park and 75. So, I mean, I went all the way up and through the area, and then I came all the way back down 75. Everything's underwater. I'm not everything. I don't want to be. The tollway was pretty good. The tollway was pretty good, but Plano had some problems.
51 is Swiftwater 59 available.
Yeah, okay, so it doesn't sound like they're responding or giving any details on anything.
66 to the unit calling about Swiftwater 59. Rescue 51 and 660 is Swiftwater 59 available. It's going to be negative, Rescue 51. Swiftwater's down on Denmark. What do you need? 51, I need a raft to 360 St. Augustine. Reports of a trapped individual, only accessible by raft.
All right, did you guys catch the address there?
I want to give me that address one more time. It'll be 360 South St. Augustine, cross street of Grady.
All right.
Route 2448 Boston.
All right, so I'm pulling up for you right here. This is where they have somebody trapped, not accessible by anything but raft, and they're being told. By the way, all morning long, people have been calling for rafts and this Swift water or something, whatever this specialty rescue boat is that Dallas County Fire has. Big player today, very popular. Everybody needs this boat. We just heard somebody ask for it again, and they're like, "Nope, he's busy. He's down on Denmark Street right now." So that's been a big player. Apparently, we don't have enough rafts. That's what it sounds like to me. There is just a shortage of fire rescue individuals looking for. All right, so we're looking at here. This is where that water. Let's see if we can get an idea of where is that? Is that even Dallas County? Okay, hold on. Oh yeah, okay. So we're talking, and that's East Dallas. All right, so let's get to what we got happening here. I'm not familiar with this area. I am Military Park. Okay, I think for some reason I know what Military Parkway is. All right, so this area right here, apparently they need a boat to get somebody in this area. I don't know if it's in one of these houses or where it is, but
72, 59 DTF.
Okay.
To Rescue 51.
I don't know why it won't stay. Now stay.
Go ahead.
Stay.
Rescue 51, are you out of service?
All right. Well, it looks pretty darn flat. I mean, I can see how this would just suddenly be under 3 feet of standing water. It does look pretty flat over here. Boy, oh boy. All right. So we'll get rid of that. And you know what? I'm also going to do this because we'll talk about this in the trending topics. Dallas is leading off every national newscast today. So look at us. I hope.
Rescue 51.
Okay. And what say you? Yeah. Well, all right. I'm just going to pause it then. We will keep that. Well, I'll tell you what, I'll just keep it really low. We just won't interrupt the show for every little thing. Yeah, so we will, obviously Dallas is trending. So we'll talk more about the floods and we'll look at some of the cool, crazy video that is just flooding social media and all that stuff. But let's get the show started the way we always do here. Why we got such a short room today? I'm not getting this. Tippett, we're about 1/3 the amount of people that we would have in the chat room. What's happening? Where is everybody? I don't know what's happening. Well, I guess it is kind of inclement weather here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, so maybe people are tending to, I don't know, flooding houses and stuff like that. So, okay, all right, you're right. I'm thinking about it. Well, Love Freeway. All right. You know what? I said that I wasn't going to be distracted by every little thing, but here I am. I am distracted. So here's what we're going to do. We're just going to close that out because I know myself. I cannot be trusted. I will get rolling on something. I'll hear something from the scanner and I'll stop and I'll listen and there'll be nothing. Welcome into the High Noon Show. It is the 22nd day of August, year of our Lord 2022. It is the 234th day of the year. 131 days remain until the end of the year. Let's go. Easy for me to say. Let's go through some of the things that happened on this day in history that makes this day so cool. On this day in 1654, Jacob Barzamenson arrives at... Oh, okay. Sorry, I want to get this name right. On this day in 1654, Jacob Barzimson. Jacob Barzimson. That's a real... That's not a... Already, this guy's trouble. This guy's already trouble with the hard name to say. 1654, Jacob Barzimson arrives in New Amsterdam. That's New York. They changed the name from New Amsterdam to New York. 1654, Jacob Barzimson arrives in New Amsterdam, New York. He is the first known Jewish immigrant to America. There you go. There goes the neighborhood, they probably said. Okay, wonder why the Jews are always complaining about being... The Jews always... Dude, the Jews have been... Look, why is this even something that they took note of? Why did the first Jewish guy show up in New York and somebody went, let's write that down. Let's keep an eye on this guy. I mean, what is that about? That's hysterical to me, that you would even know. Like, do you know who was the first... Who was the first Episcopalian to land in New York? Did somebody write that down? No, nobody wrote that down. Nobody thought that was something they ought to keep tabs on. On this day in 1864, 12 nations signed the first Geneva Convention establishing the rules of protection of victims of armed conflicts. The rules of war. They would get together as technology changed warfare, and they would add and have different Geneva. But there you go. Geneva Convention. It shows that we can wage war and still have some rules. Still have some tethering to what a civilized society is supposed to be about. That's the whole point of the Geneva Convention. We're not animals. Yeah, we're going to go to war and we're going to have disagreements and we're going to fight and, all that kind of stuff. But we aren't animals. We do have some rules. We will agree not to do some things. Okay, 1902 on this day, Cadillac Motor Company is founded. Happy birthday, Cadillac. On this day in 1902 as well, Theodore Roosevelt becomes the first president of the United States to make a public appearance in an automobile. That automobile was not a Cadillac, though, because Cadillac was founded on this day. Excuse me. The weather's got me nuts. This is an insane place to live. We just came out of 3 months of 110 degrees every day, where it's just like flames, embers fall from the sky. It's, ow, it's burned by just stuff falling from the overheated sky. And now it's 75 degrees and we're all underwater. So, my allergies are going a little bit crazy right now. Actually, they have been for a week. It's almost like they knew this was coming. Let's see here. What else do we have? On this day in 1922, Michael Collins, commander-in-chief of the Irish Free State Army, is shot dead in an ambush during the Irish Civil War. Basically, the George Washington of Ireland. Michael Collins, great movie. Oh, if you've never seen that movie. Liam Neeson, one of his great. Julia Roberts, Aidan Quinn, Brendan Gleeson. Oh, it's a good movie. Michael Collins. It's a good war movie. If you like war, it's a war movie. It's a war movie about the Irish Rebellion and how they kicked the Brits out. And well, I mean, it's an ongoing process. I guess you can't definitively say. You know what I mean. You know what I mean. All right. On this day in 1962, the OAS attempts to assassinate French President Charles de Gaulle. Okay, that didn't work. On this day in 1989, Nolan Ryan strikes out Ricky Henderson to become the first Major League Baseball pitcher to record 5,000 Ks. 5,000 strike on this day, 1989. On this day in 2007, hey, how about a little bit more Texas Ranger fun? On this day in 2007, the Texas Rangers defeat the Baltimore Orioles by a score of 30-3, the most runs scored by a team in a modern Major League Baseball game. It's funny because it's weird. It's one of those things where when I wake up in the morning and I start putting the show together and I start looking at, the histories and all that stuff about today. Well, I saw this morning and I went, ain't that crazy? Because 30-3, the Texas Rangers defeating the Baltimore Orioles back there in 2007 was something that I remembered vaguely. Like I was like, yeah, I think that does kind of sound familiar to me. There was some blowout Ranger game. Anyway, I hadn't really thought about it. I didn't even, it's like, I on Saturday nights, my baseball team, the White Sox, lost 21-5. And it was so humiliating that I actually on Saturday evening, I looked up, I was like, okay, are we going to set a record here? Is this going to be the biggest blowout in modern major? And no, it wasn't. I'm like, oh, look at that, the Rangers. Okay. So that was Saturday. And then I wake up today and here we are. It's the anniversary of it. 30-3, man. How do they let that happen? I mean, how does that even happen? How does it get to 30-3? Trust me, that is just mind-blowing because I just watched my team lose 21-5. And when it was 13-2, I was like, this is at some point, there's got to stop, right? And then it's like 15, then it's 17, then another home run and 19, and then suddenly 21, 30 though, on this day in 2007, Texas Rangers defeat the Baltimore Orioles 30-3. Let's do some birthdays. Born on this day in 1902, Lenny Riefenstahl. Lenny Riefenstahl. You know who she is? She was, okay. Here's who she was. Famous for being Hitler's propagandist, for being the filmmaker who made all of the Nazi propaganda films that basically convinced the nation of Germany that, hey, Hitler's great. She was an actress. She was like a famous actress in Germany, and she was hot. She was attractive. She was an attractive actress, and Hitler had a crush on her. It would be like if like a dictator came to power in America and had a crush on Scarlett Johansson, and suddenly Scarlett Johansson became like one of the most important people in the administration. Well, that's what she was. So Hitler had a crush on her. So he brought her in. She wanted to be a director, but there were no directors back then. And Hitler was like, I can make you a director. So she became a director, the official director of the Reich. Happy birthday to her. And maybe mistress of Hitler. I don't know. Some people say that. Other people are like, nah, she was gay, but whatever. Hey, whatever. It's Hitler. Hitler wants what Hitler gets, apparently, right? Born on this day in 1934, Norman, I'll give him full respect. Norman Schwarzkopf, General Norman Schwarzkopf, American general engineer. The first, what was the first one called? Desert. Oh, yeah, it started as Desert Shield, and then it became Desert Storm. Yeah, that's who he was. General Schwarzkopf, Desert Storm. Born on this day in 1939, but died in 2019. That's she. I didn't think she was that old, though. I look at that 1939 and I go, oh, she was older than I thought. Happy birthday, Valerie Harper. She's Rhoda. Rhoda from the old Mary Tyler Moore Show. Rhoda from the Rhoda Show. Valerie from Valerie. Okay, so here we got to talk about that. So the show that she did in the late 80s, early 90s with Jason Bateman, that show was called Valerie. And then it was called Valerie's Family. and then it was called The Hogans, and then it was called The Hogan Family. I don't know, that show, it was on for like 6 years, and it wasn't a bad show, but it went through so many changes. Like, it started out as a vehicle for Valerie Harper. She was a single mom, and Jason Bateman was her teen or college-age son, whatever it was. And then she like got into a contract dispute and she left the show. So then Jason Bateman became, I don't know, whatever. Happy birthday, Valerie Harper. Also born on this day, 1939, umbilical cousins with Valerie Harper, Carl Yastrzemski. Yaz. Boston Red Sox great outfielder, Hall of Fame. The Yaz. Carl Yastrzemski. Born on this day in 1941, Bill Parcells, American football coach. The Big Tuna, right? Wasn't that his nickname? Wasn't that Parcells' nickname? Big Tuna? Something like that. I don't know. Is he still alive? Well, yeah, I guess he's still alive because it doesn't show a death date. Usually it would. Born on this day in 1945, another great, David Chase. David Chase can do absolutely nothing ever again. It doesn't matter because he created The Sopranos, and that is genius. Born on this day in 1967, died in 2002. Died in like... I had a debate with a friend of mine years ago about this, about whether or not this was a rock star death. But it's Lane Staley's birthday. Lane Staley, Alice in Chains, he died tragically. Drug addict, all of those things that come with being a big rock star from Seattle in the 1990s. But he got eaten by his cats. Like he apparently OD'd and died on like a Friday, and nobody decided to even look for him until like Thursday of the next week. And apparently like his cats. And so I got into an argument with a friend of mine. A friend of mine believes that is the ultimate rock star death. And I'm like, no, because of the cats. I mean, yeah, it does. It checks a few rock star death boxes. I mean, it's got like, it's got the sad, troubling end where nobody found him because he was so, you'd think, oh, big rock star is surrounded by people all the time. No. And then it's like drugs were involved. So you really got to check that box. But then a cat ate him? That ain't rock star. That ain't rock star. Anyway, that's my position, and I'll die on that hill. Also born on this day, 1973, Kristen Wiig. I love Kristen Wiig. Still waiting on her to become a massive star. Still waiting, Kristen Wiig. I think she is so talented. I would really have to make this list, but if I were to do best women from Saturday Night Live ever, I would spend a lot of time contemplating if Kristen Wiig is the first pick or not. I'm not saying that she is, because there's a lot to consider, and there are people I'm not even thinking about now. But she would certainly be under consideration. Certainly, if we were doing my favorites, she would be one or two. She's, as far as females, I separate it. She might be one of my 3 favorites of all time, though. I do. I love Kristen Wiig. Happy birthday, Kristen Wiig. Still waiting on you to become a big star. That's all I can say. Get out there, girl. Coffee. James Corden was born on this day in 1978, and Dua Lipa was born on this day in 1995. Wouldn't know Dua Lipa if I was in a Pilates class. I don't know who Dua Lipa is. I know the name. I know she's a singer. That's going to be about it for me. And deaths, there weren't really. We didn't have much going on as far as deaths. Mr. French from Family Affair, Sebastian Cabot. Godspeed, Sebastian Cabot, but I don't know that we need to dedicate too much time. Nick Ashford and Simpson. Solid as a rock. Come on, Nick Ashford. He died on this day in 2011. That's what I love is. And then he would go, the thrill is still ha, 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 ha. I was like that. He's dead. And some other, I don't know, like who are we going to tie? People die. No real big ones. No, nothing like Elvis died on this, All right, let's get into the trends. Let's talk about all the things that are trending today. The first and the biggest is, of course, Dallas, right here, our own backyard. Let's check back in with the Dallas Fire and Rescue. At least while we talk about Dallas, we should have that up. Let's see what they got going on. Anything new? We were listening earlier. There was an incident happening over in off Military. Didn't look good. There were a number. I've been listening to the Dallas Fire and Rescue scanner for most of the morning, and they are busy boys out there. Let me see if it's moving up the charts. It's not moving up the charts at all, though. It's like there are not very many people listening to this particular stream. I can't even find it. It's not even in like the top 50. Hold on. Here we go. Give me Dallas. It's very last one. Dallas City Fire and Rescue. Only 92 people listening. Well, except for us. All right. Let's see here. All right, we'll put that up. We'll just see if we get anything. I've been listening to this all morning.
Water 59 to engine 9. Can you go to channel 3?
It's mayhem out there here in North Texas, man. I'm telling you, today it is absolute mayhem. Stay inside. Don't go anywhere. It is, we had, this is why Dallas is trending. We're underwater. It's flooding. Oh, wow, what's the river in Dallas that we don't have a river here. There's no river here that overflowed. This is just water that fell from the sky and decided it had nowhere to go. So it was just going to sit on the streets and start to pile up. Because, folks, Texas is flat. Texas isn't like the rest of, places in this country where there's like hills. We got hills and rivers. And when water hits, just
4-4. Do we have Lipa signs this run?
All right. I don't know what's going on with this guy. But here, we'll also check in on this as they've dedicated the full coverage.
Engine 44, that's going to be negative. You need PD to location?
Hold on.
That's affirmative. We're going to need PD to block.
44, if you would, update the comment section. I'll notify PD.
44, Steve.
All right. All right, let's see what this is. You know what? I should probably get rid of April's. Okay, let's see what we got here. Let's see what the absolute latest.
Comments on this run. You got look like 2 units head your way.
All right, so you guys know it has been the most.
Got the lady out of the house. We're heading back to shore.
Shore? This is Dallas.
There's no way you get cleared up.
Shore. We're heading back to the shore. You mean the street? You mean the curb? The shore. Curbs are now being called shore lines.
Mcchicken 8 and Swiftwater 59 to 325 North St. Augustine.
St. Augustine. We were already looking at that. That's the area that's all flat. That's where they're apparently that area's having some real trouble. Let me get rid of that. All right. So this channel, we don't really need to have that up because they aren't live. They were live earlier. They were doing really good. They had live feeds from reporters. It's the Weather Channel, all in the different areas. So they were giving us good looks at.
Say they be advised. You've got Texas Task Force coming your way as well.
No, how darn.
Yes, that's affirmative. They're on scene also.
26 to the Swiftwater 59. If you would, hit your clear key for me.
On any normal day, you would be listening to the fire and rescue scanner.
Can you clear them from there? They're already on foot.
And you would hear, I don't know, dozens.
3 en route, 8035, East RLT.
You'd hear dozens of separate calls from, house fire here, car accident here, this here, that. This for hours now. It has been every single bit of communication has been about rescuing people who are stuck underwater, either in their cars or trapped in their houses. I mean, we don't have the Mississippi River here. This is all about the flash flood that happened last night. It started when? Probably about 8, 9 o'clock at night last night, and just rained absolute buckets for 10 hours. I mean, it's still raining here. It's going to rain. There's another big storm that's coming through. They say it's going to miss the bulk of Dallas, but South Dallas is going to get walloped again. So all of these places that we're hearing about now, this St. Augustine and over there off Military, those places are just going to get walloped again here in a couple of hours. Here's how much rain fell. Okay. So we hadn't had rain. We were in a terrible drought. I mean, you know, we've been playing heat wave poker here for a couple of months. It has been 110 degrees at least just about every single day for the last 3 months. Am I overstating that? Maybe a little bit, but you get the point. You know what it is that I'm trying to say. It's been ridiculously hot and it hasn't rained. We were begging for rain. We needed rain. We go out to the Lake Louisville. Lake Louisville was like shrinking. It's like the areas where you used to be able to go through on a jet ski with no problem. Now you can't do it because there's only 1 foot of water or less than that. It was bad. It was a record drought. And in the last 10 hours, we just equaled the amount of rain that they had in the entirety of last summer, which was not a record drought. So we got all the rain of the entire summer starting last night and continuing now. We've already equaled the amount. Now, as far as rainfall, we're an above average summer for rainfall. Yesterday at this time, we were in a drought. It was a historic drought. Today at this time, we're above average rainfall now for the summer, all because of one storm that came through here. I was talking with the boys in the big house this morning about what was going on last night. And you people too in the area, how many times did you get woken up by weather alerts on your cell phones? And it was really terrifying because here in this area, you got to stay frosty for that stuff if that thing goes off at 3:30 in the morning, because it could be a tornado. This is tornado town, okay? We got tornadoes that rip through here. And a tornado that rips through this area at, 4 o'clock in the morning is going to be terrible. Going to be bad. So it's not like,
Clear the shop, ready to go back to service.
It's not like you can just blow those up. So like for every 20 minutes, these things are going off on my... That's not true. I think they went off 2 or 3 times, or at least two times that I remember actually getting up and checking. It was crazy last night. Absolutely insane. Adam says it's also because, ironically, when the ground is too dry, it can absorb a lot of water. There you go. The more you know. Here, got some crazy. We'll show this to you. Some crazy video. Look at this, huh? Is this? Yeah, we'll show you this. Let's try and figure out where this is. Maybe you folks in the chat room will have a better idea. I think it's downtown. I think it's south of downtown. Like maybe Chavez and like maybe Chavez, if you're familiar with that part of downtown. So here, let's look at this. This is some video. Crazy video. All right, here we go.
I want you to know the banner distance, how there's that climb. I want you to know.
Watch this. Now, this is drone footage. All right, let's turn that down. Here we go.
Something real quickly. See the banner? This is coming from Brandon. Notice in the distance how there's that steep incline that funnels all of the water.
That's an expressway.
And into the interstate itself. And it turns to a river.
All right, you get what he's saying here? He's basically saying what I've been saying for 2 decades now, which is the city planner, the person who laid out the city of Dallas was a lunatic and probably died in a straitjacket in a rubber room. It makes no sense. And this right here, he's talking about how, can you believe this is how they designed it? All the water runs straight down the on-ramp to flood the freeway. It's like by design. Here, listen here.
Incline that funnels all of the water. But notice distance how there's that steep climb that funnels all of the water right there onto the on-ramp.
Right where the cars are. Let's throw the water where the cars are. What could go wrong?
It doesn't matter if you have a lifted kit or not. If you're an 18-wheeler, you are stuck. And you're asked to not, of course, drive.
Look at that. There's rivers. These are off-ramps. These are access roads. They look like rivers.
How difficult it is.
Look at that. The car is completely underwater.
They have drone video. That's the only way you can get access is if you take to the skies to show you, because those cars are seeing the water almost get over the rooftop at times. Shows you the depth of the water.
All right, so where is this? Can we read the street sign?
I want you to know something. This is coming from Brandon.
All right. So, I mean, we'll survive, right? I mean, but hey, today it's all about us. You know, a couple of weeks back, it was all about Western Kentucky or Eastern Kentucky, maybe. I'm not sure. Sometimes it's about, the low-lying areas around the Mississippi River. Today, it's about us. What else is happening today? Let's see. And by the way, we'll see. I'm monitoring something, so if anything big happens, we'll let you know. By the way, the rescue that was taking place at John Carpenter and Mockingbird is a success. So they got him out. I'm reading the scanner as they go. 100%. It was a mom and two small children who were taken out of the car there, and they were rescued. That's right over by the McDonald's. It's by the McDonald's. It's where Live 105.3 used to be. Right there. That's where it happened. Let's see here. Arkansas is trending. Not sure if you guys saw this yesterday or not. I'm not going to show it because I don't give a crap, but there was more video. Well, I mean, I do give a crap. I don't mean to be divisive or dismissive like that. It's just that at this stage, it's a real alarming video that somebody shot outside of a gas station in Arkansas of cops beating up a dude. And, we don't know enough. What more do you need to know? Oh, don't start with the context argument again. I need to know. Like I don't know if was he armed? What does that matter? Well, it matters. Did he like attack a cop? Why would they react? Did he attack? What happened before you started filming it? Why does that matter? That's context. Context matters with everything, and simply asking for more information about what you're seeing before you completely overreact is not being irresponsible. It's actually the opposite. It's the way we should all look at these things now. I used to love, I was an outrage hound just like the rest of you. I spent a good decade being an outrage. I can't believe, and I try to keep that tempered now. I understand that everything is not, look, I like the little buzz I get in my brain when the little endorphins go, when somebody tells you something and you're like, I'm going to get to be outraged. And you start to get a little excited and then you get that little poof, it goes off in your brain and you're like, I'm so angry. I love being angry. That's what it's all about. That's why outrage culture is such a big thing. So look, we'll see how this Arkansas thing, it looks bad, but again, I don't know what's going on there. It's a bunch of cops beating up a guy out in front. Apparently the guy, the list of things, well, here are the things he's been charged with, but I'm not my first rodeo. I know that these things that you're being charged with are 9 times out of 10 just there to scare you, and they're all designed to be plead away or okay, we'll get rid of these 5. Well, you better get rid of those 5 because they're nonsense. And the charges always sound worse than they are. Like the one that I love is he made terroristic threats. Because when you say that somebody made terroristic threats, I think the average person goes, yeah, that's good. Let's get that guy locked up. But the truth of the matter is that a terroristic threat can be, I'm going to kick your ass. That's a terrorist. You're threatening to terrorize somebody by beating their ass. So I don't know, but we'll see. He's been charged with like 12 things. And, look, here's a little bit of context that I do have. He was at one convenience store and he got into an argument with the person behind the counter. And that's where he apparently made terroristic threats, which is probably, I'm going to kick your ass, because he's like a dirtbag kind of guy, And then apparently he spit on the guy. So that was like the assault or battery. Was it battery or so? I don't know, whatever it was. He spit on the guy. But that could have just been, he could just be sloppy. There's a difference in intent, right? So if I'm looking you in the face and I go, and I spit in your face, Or if I'm just like a crackhead and I'm like, blah, 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 that's not the same. But if you get spittle on your face, you tell the cop and then suddenly, you've been assaulted. So anyway, I don't know what the deal is here. I just know that there's a bunch of really interesting charges. Let me see if I can find them for you. He's not dead. He's not dead. He's not dead. Okay. He is not dead. So please, you just got tuned up by a bunch of cops like it was 1975 in Detroit. According to police, a report indicated that the man was making threats to a convenience store employee in Mulberry, Arkansas on Sunday morning. Police later identified the arrested man as Randall Worcester, 27, of Goose Creek, South Carolina. Yeah, long way from South Carolina. Randy. Worcester was taken to an area hospital for examination and treatment, then was booked at the Crawford County Jail in Van Buren, Arkansas. Worcester was jailed on complaints of, here we go, second-degree burglary, resisting arrest. Well, again, you're kind of tuning him up. I mean, he was just survival mode. You say resisting arrest. I say survival mode. Refusal to submit. Okay. Possessing an instrument of crime. Again, need more context on that. That's a fancy, that boy, the way you put that together, possessing an instrument of crime. That could be a screwdriver. He had a screwdriver. Context. I just need to know more. I need to know more about this. According to the Arkansas State Police, further charges may be pending. Okay, so there you have it. So if you want to see the video, you can see the video, but it's just such bad mojo. Fauci is trending. Fauci's going to step down at the end of the year after serving for 38 years. The nation's top infectious disease expert, Dr. Anthony Fauci, plans to step down from his role running the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases and his role advising the White House as its chief medical advisor at the end of the year, he announced Monday. Dude's like 80-something. All right, 38 years. Says he's not retiring. Says he's got all this energy, whatever. Okay, little guy. Thank you. Appreciate it. And there you go. Dr. Fauci stepping down. Divisive! For what reason, I have no idea. But apparently he is. He's very divisive. Dude's a little doctor. He's a little cute elfin doctor. Got no power. All he does is he looks at things through a microscope and he goes, well, with all of my training and my expertise, here's what I see. And then apparently somebody who hosts talk radio in Charlotte, North Carolina took a look in there and went, I see something different and you're wrong, traitor. And then, it became a whole thing. Of course, I'm kidding. That didn't really happen. But that's basically it. A bunch of people who don't know shit about any of this stuff are basically saying that Fauci doesn't know shit about any of this stuff. And I'm like, but wait a second. One guy's actually a doctor, and the other guy does middays in Savannah, Georgia. I don't understand why we're listening to the guy who does middays in Savannah, Georgia, and not the. But hey, whatever. Divisive. We move on. He's gone. He should have gone like a year. He should have gone a year ago, but I understand why he couldn't, because then it would seem like a victory. Like, oh, he got pushed out. But I mean, he became an untenable personality in the White House about 2 years ago. Again, why? I don't know. Is it fair? Probably not. I don't know. But fact is a fact. He became a truly polarizing individual. That whether his fault or not his fault, not saying that. I'm just saying he should have gone. Biden should have had just a clean slate. And again, I don't know anything about the dude other than he's a doctor and I'm not. That's Putin is trending. Putin is trending because his top guy, this is a big deal. Did you see this over the weekend? So Putin's got this dude who's like his best friend and his chief advisor, and he's a radical pro-Putin college professor in Russia and military expert and all this stuff. And he's supposedly Putin's right-hand guy on everything. This whole Ukraine thing, it's been him and Putin. Everybody criticizing Putin, but not this guy. This guy's here going, no, we got to stay the course. We got a plan. We worked on this for a while. So that guy, they tried to kill that guy. Who's they? I don't know. We'll get to that. We'll find out. Not today, but at some point, hopefully. They tried to kill that guy over the weekend by blowing up his car, but accidentally, he had stood up his own daughter, and his daughter was killed instead. He was supposed to be going out to dinner with his daughter, and he didn't make it. And so his daughter was in the car alone when it was bombed. Now they don't know who bombed it. And this is what I meant. We'll get to it. So here are the two stories. Obviously, they're at war with the Ukraine, and this is a guy who is one of the main strategists of Putin's war. So you would think the Ukraine intelligence or Ukraine assassin squads or whatever it is, they would have a want to take him out. So there you go. But also, they're saying that this is all a part of like a coup that's essentially going on in Russia, where they're taking out all the people, the oligarchs who are tired of this. The oligarchs are taking out Putin's inner circle one by one. And this is his main guy, although they didn't get him. They got his daughter, which, we'll see. So is this coming from inside the house, as they say, or is this, Ukrainians, or is this some other option? It could be some international hit squad of people tired of this war and looking to show Putin that they can get close enough to, wipe his inner circle out. I don't know. So that's why Putin is trending. Daughter's dead, and the dad, he wasn't in the car when it exploded. Threat to democracy. Threat to democracy is trending. Threat to democracy is trending because of a new poll. But there's a bipartisan poll. It asked this question of Republicans, Democrats, Independents. 21% of people polled said that threat to our democracy is the number one most important issue facing the United States of America right now. 21%, it led the poll. It was the most that any one group or any group said of any one situation. So 21% say that a threat to American democracy is the most important thing facing us today. 16% says cost of living. 12% said jobs. 8% said immigration. And 2% said culture wars. Oh, thank God. Thank God only 2% said where trannies pee was the most important. Thank God only 2% are saying that one of the most important things facing America is what we call Christmas. That's good. That's good to know. Hey, speaking of culture wars, Google Doodle is doing it again. The Google Doodle is trending again. This is like the second time in like a week. Google does this thing, where you go to Google and it's not like the normal Google bar. It's like some crazy picture or whatever it is. And it's always somebody you never heard of, and you hover on it and you're like, who the fuck is this person? This is not somebody that needs to be. Well, the Google Doodle started out as a fairly righteous project, which was to give attention and some, spotlight to individuals, notable individuals in our history who have not been traditionally celebrated because of dominant white male culture. That's the part that bothers a lot of people, but that's really what the Google Doodle is about. It's about, hey, yes, it is Ronald Reagan's birthday today, but it's also Salvador Espinosa's birthday. And then they would do like it would be Salvador Espinosa's day because, everybody knows who Ronald Reagan is, but nobody knows who Salvador Espinosa is. To which I would say that's because Ronald Reagan was a two-time president of the United States who basically took down the Soviet Union and won the Cold War. And the guy you're talking about was a painter from the 1700s. Maybe that's why people know who Ronald Reagan. I don't know. But, Google says it's because of dominant white male culture. And it's nice. I'm all for that. I'm all for learning about new people. But I have to say, 9 out of 10 times when I click on the Google Doodle, I'm like, what, really? Really? This is it? Who would be a good Google Doodle today? Remember the guy we took, the first Jewish guy in New York? Why not that? Why couldn't that be a Google Doodle? What, right? You click on it and it's just like, hey, on this day, the first Jewish guy came to America. Divisive. That would have me and normal people going, isn't that nice? Isn't that nice? And then we go, but it is weird that they took note of that. It is weird that when the first Jewish guy showed up, somebody went, I'm going to write that down. I don't know, wherever I am. The Google Doodle today is definitely got people angry. You know why? Here, check this out. Because today's Google Doodle celebrates actress Claudia, I'll make sure I get this right. Claudia Celeste. Claudia Celeste. So if you open up your Google right now and you click on Claudia Celeste, you will learn all about Claudia Celeste, somebody that Google is celebrating today. And it's fine. Google celebrate whoever they want. But again, if I was doing the Google Doodle today, I would have it be for the first Jewish guy in America. I would have that guy. Make him a star. Claudia Celeste is the first Brazilian transgender actress. And that's what the Google Doodle is today. And that's fine. It's fine. It's just weird. And to sit here and pretend like it's not weird, because this is so specific. Like, okay, so she's Brazilian, she's not even American. Oh, everything isn't seen through the lens of an American. Yeah, it is. For the most part, it is. And if it's, me talking about it, then it absolutely is, because I'm an American and this is the lens that I've been provided. All right, celebrating Claudia Celeste. God love her. God love them. I don't know. I don't even know. How do you, did she even know about pronouns? She's been dead for a long time. She didn't live. She wasn't a trans in the pronoun era. So I can't be offending her. Google Doodle celebrates Claudia Celeste, the first transgender actress to show up in Brazilian telenovelas on August 22nd, 2022. On this date in 1988 was the first time Claudia first showed up in a role as a straightforwardly trans woman. All right. Okay. So it was 1988. It was on this date in 1988 that she first showed up on TV in Brazil, and she was a trans character, and they were fine with it, I guess. I don't know. Should we look at her? Let's say, yeah, well, why not? Hey, Google Doodle. If Google wants us to know who this is, far be it from me. I just think it's silly because I don't think we need to know who it is. Hey, Nick Ashford from Ashford and Simpson died today. You could have thrown him up there. That would have met. He's not like a white European man. That could have worked. Solid as a rock. That's what this love means. The thrill is still. There you go. Here's Claudia. Look at her. It's not hard to show respect. Not hard at all. Look at her. She's beautiful. It's easy to lie, too. Let's drop her. And there you go. So people are, what to Google? I don't know. I think Google Doodles are funny. They're trying so hard. They're just, come on, a Brazilian trans. Okay. So now dumb guy, right? Because dumb guy is the one that first offers the opinion. But then thoughtful guy, he sits in the back and he starts mulling it around. And now thoughtful guy is going, well, it was 1988, and this really would be a trailblazer. This is someone that probably, for those, see, don't got to use don't want to be inappropriate. For people experiencing this in the year 2022, this might be somebody to know about, right? Okay, so there you go. So thoughtful me just went, well, all Google did was just featured somebody on their page that is, going to appeal to the transgender community, and they're going to show them as, this is an important person. But see, now thoughtful me takes a seat back, and I go, but how many people is that? I mean, this is Google. We're talking about billions and billion hits a day. I mean, it's so specific. Again, I'd have gone with the first Jew in America. That would have been my Google Doodle. But, this is why Google won't return my calls. I have more ideas on Google Doodles. How about one for Dennis Rodman? Because Dennis Rodman is trending too. Dennis Rodman's getting involved with the whole Brittany Griner thing. He's saying he's going to go to the Soviet Union and he's going to negotiate. Her release. I wish I was making that up, but I'm not. And it was like a really big story yesterday, and it's still trending today. So, okay. So if you're Brittany Griner, just basic question. If you're Brittany Griner and you're sitting in a Russian jail cell and it gets to you that Dennis Rodman is going to come over and he's going to start working on some things for you, is it a good thing or a bad thing? I'm thinking you're in a jail cell, so you're probably just happy that anybody is thinking about you. But then you find out it's Dennis Rodman. Yeah, Like, would you fire your lawyer and put Dennis Rodman in charge? You know what I mean? Like, what's he going to do? But I guess, if does Putin like basketball the way Kim Jong-un does? Because that's his link with Kim Jong-un. Kim Jong-un is a basketball freak and thinks, it's really cool to be with Dennis Rodman. Does Putin think that? Does Putin think I can't imagine that Putin was a big fan of the Dream Team. I can't. I'm sorry. We were too close to the end of the Cold War. He was just coming out of being a KGB commandant. I can't imagine that he was rooting for the Dream Team, but all right. Hooters is trending. Hooters is trending because they did something interesting. Hooters, you know what? If this has got to happen, and again, I'm not entirely certain how I feel about this. I'm waiting to see, right? Everything. You don't have to have a definitive decision or opinion on something when it first starts. So Hooters has gone out and signed like a crud ton of college offensive linemen. The NIL, is it NIL? Wait, what is it? NIL deals? Is that what they're called? Where the players are allowed, college players are now allowed to go out and get themselves little sponsorship deals. And, this was believed to be a way that, you're going to have some quarterbacks, especially in the SEC, who are going to, be making more money than a lot of their coaches, for damn sure, more money than most of their professors. They'll be making these deals. But it's always, to this point, seems like the lion's share of all the cool stuff has been going to quarterbacks and, wide receivers or, people like that. Hooters has gone out. Hooters has signed a total of 51 offensive linemen from 10 different schools to individual NIL deals. Hooters is only going after offensive linemen. Big men eating big wings is apparently their whole thing. Here's the schools where the Hooters players have been signed. Auburn, FAU, I think that's Florida Atlantic University. Auburn, FAU, Georgia Tech, LSU, Miami, Mizzou, Oklahoma, Texas A&M, Vanderbilt, and USF, University of South Florida. So, there you go. Good for Hooters. I like it. I don't know how I feel about the NIL thing. I don't know. I think that for a very long time, college football players were exploited. Especially since you had coaches, making crazy amounts of money and school presidents making crazy amounts of money and, television revenue, crazy amounts of money. So, it seemed a little bit exploitative. And then what? You'd suspend a player for 2 games because he took $50 from a local car dealer. See, it's kind of bullshit. So I'm kind of okay with the premise of what this is. I just don't know if this is the right way to do it. I don't know. But look, I don't have to have an opinion on it yet. It's only year two of this NIL thing. Let's see how this plays out. We'll see. So thank you, Hooters. I like Hooters looking out for the big guys. I like Hooters looking out for the guys that were probably not going to make any money. Nobody gives a crap about a guard from Auburn. Hooters does. Thank you, Hooters. Thank you. Let's see. Gary Busey. Oh boy, Gary. I had the displeasure of interviewing Gary Busey on 2 separate occasions. One time was on my own for a project that I was working on. This was after the radio, and then the other time he came in and spent way too much time with Kelly and me in studio. Gary Busey. It was one of those things where it's like you really just wanted it to be about 10 minutes and then you wanted him to go away, but he wouldn't go away. And it was just like Gary Busey was just going to be in the corner for all week. I'm going anywhere. I mean, he was just so weird. He was so weird. You couldn't talk. And he wasn't on drugs. It wasn't like this guy's on drugs. We had plenty of people come in who were smacked out of their minds on drugs. And you could tell and you could kind of work on. Gary Busey was a totally different thing. Gary Busey was just out there. The eyes are going in different directions and he's everything he did that thing with abbreviation. What's that called? I don't know. What's that called? All right. So the new coach of the Chicago Bears has this thing called the HITS principle, and it stands for hitting, intensity, technique, and speed, right? So that's the heat principle. You know what the heat principle is? Hitting, intensity, technique, and speed. So that's his. Gary Busey, that's the only way he would communicate with us. Like he would say stuff like that. He would go do you know what mine is? Mine is money invested nervously every day. Like that's how he wouldn't stop doing that. And we're like, so Gary, so what are you here to promote? I'm here to promote a book. Do you know what a book is? A book is benefiting the ongoing omnipotence of Kevin, who's my name. That's all. It was so weird. Like that's how he lives his life by these like weird, what's that called, guys? Anagrams? Is that what that is? He lives his life by that. And he's just standing and he kept going, you know what hoop really means? No, stop it, Gary. We don't know what hoop really means. Do you know what July is actually all about? It's about and then he would go into like, jumping under monkey youngins. It's just weird. It made no sense. And it would have been one thing if it was kind of interesting and you go, that's interesting. But it wasn't. It was just slightly more together than the examples I just showed you. It was just slightly better than crazy guy. So Gary Busey's trending because he's been arrested in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. Or is it Cherry Hill, New Jersey? Or because it's listed as outside Philadelphia, but I know that, Philadelphia and New Jersey are right next to each other. So like the suburbs of Philadelphia are in New Jersey. So he was at one of these one of these lesser Comic-Con type deals that are happening in a funky Ramada Inn somewhere near an airport in America every weekend. And Gary Busey was out there being paid to appear all 3 days at this horror conference or whatever it was. He sits there, he signs, he takes pictures. And apparently Gary Busey was taking pictures with people and he kept he was playing grab ass. Like he was touching like really wildly. Like people are describing it as crazy. And so it started on, and by the way, there's only one story out there right now that has some details, and that's from the Philadelphia Inquirer, because I'm sure they've been covering it with boots on the ground since it happened. So they've been talking to people. But it appears that this one went on Friday. It started on Friday, and people actually were so appalled by his behavior that numerous people on the first night went to the promoters of the conference, guests, people who were attending, and said, hey, I waited in line for Gary Busey for an hour and a half, and he grabbed my tit. It was like complaints like that. Like, and not just one person. He didn't just do it to one person. He did like 5, and that's on Friday. And then so they're like, okay, so someone's got to talk to Gary. So apparently Gary comes back on Saturday afternoon, and he's doing it again. He's just groping all of these women in front of her. Now, where are the pictures? If these stories are true, where are the pictures? Why haven't we seen anyway? So he got arrested. Apparently the police didn't need much. They were like, yeah, okay. So, I mean, there must be pictures, right? I guess there's got to be video inside you got to be able, there's got to be. Anyway, so Gary Busey did something very Gary Busey, very, very weird, and like without purpose or, any sort of goal in mind. McDonald's is trending today. McDonald's is trending. I like this. You want to know why McDonald's is trending? Because they're going to bring something. They're going to bring something that they did over in England that was a wild, wild success in England. Apparently, the people in England went nuts. So they're like, okay, all right. People in England have terrible taste in food, but it is encouraging that they like this. So then McDonald's brought it to Miami, and I guess it's been in Miami, or it's about to be in Miami. I thought it was already in Miami. Anyway, they're going to roll it out in limited markets, a new sandwich from McDonald's. Are you ready for this? It's the Chicken Big Mac. The Chicken Big Mac. The chicken. Well, Pugs, what's a Chicken Big Mac? Well, just take a Big Mac and chuck the meat and put them chicken patties in their place, and that's it. But does it still have the Big Mac sauce? It sure does. It's got the shredded lettuce? It sure does. It's got the poppy seed, but it sure does. It's a Big Mac. It's just they got rid of the meat, and they're putting them with chicken. So what is that? That's chicken, lettuce, pickle, bread, like piece of bread in the middle, separating the pieces of chicken, and then some Big Mac sauce, which is Thousand Island dressing. Let's not kid ourselves. It's not some huge secret. Or maybe it's Russian. I'm not sure. I thought it was Thousand Island. I don't know. It's one of those two. I think it's Thousand Island. So yeah. So there you go. I'm going to try it. I will, without a doubt. First of all, I think they're only $1.27. The McChicken sandwich, if you're ever just like peckish, like you don't want a full meal, you just like, I don't know, I had lunch at like 11 o'clock today, and now it's 3:30, and we're like 4 hours from dinner. Get yourself a McChicken. They're $1.27. First of all, they're delicious. They really are delicious. They look like absolute garbage. They're all smashed. It'll be smashed. You'll look at it, but they're good. They're really good. $1.27. Just have one. Just have one. It will, or you can do the Snickers like they suggest in the commercials, or you just go to McDonald's and get a McChicken for $1.27. I bet you the McChicken's cheaper than a Snickers bar. So yeah, I will absolutely try a Big Mac. I love the McChicken. I like the McChicken at McDonald's. Got no problem with it. I like the spicy chicken too. Like the spicy chicken deluxe. Although these won't be spicy chicken deluxe patties. These will be McDonald's McChicken patties. There you go. Coming soon to a McDonald's near you. The Big Mac chicken version. Moviepass. Moviepass is coming back. Do you guys remember Moviepass? Moviepass was something. I had a couple of friends who were not involved with Moviepass. They were members. Like they were bloggers who did, and they were, you should get Moviepass. And I'm like, well, this was, pre-pandemic when, the movie theater industry basically took it right across the chest, right across the chops. I didn't like going to movies then. And I really don't like going to movies now. I will go to movies. Two ways I'll go to movies. I'll go to movies if my kid wants to go see a movie, and it's just like, okay, I can shut him up and it'll be something he can do, and we'll sit in a movie theater. That's fine. And I'll enjoy the movie and we'll have a nice time. But left to my own, I would prefer, I'm king of the world, and they're like, hey, you want to see this new movie? And I'm king of the world. I'd be like, yeah, just pipe it into my bedroom. That would be how I would prefer to. I don't want to get up and go to a movie, and dates. I'll go to a movie on a date. So with my kid or with a girl. The only ways that I'm really going to go to a movie. Otherwise, I'm okay. I can just wait. I'll wait for it to show up on one of the devices or one of the platforms. But Moviepass was a subscription-based thing that you could pay. I think it was like $20, $30 a month or whatever. And they even had like an unlimited option where you paid monthly and you went to the movies whenever you wanted. You had like a Moviepass card, and it seemed like a great idea back when everybody was still going to movies. And then it went under 2018. Well, they had some problems. There were some software issues, and people weren't getting tickets that they paid for because they'd show up and the film was sold out because the theater was. Anyway, there were problems with Moviepass. Went into bankruptcy. And then, interestingly enough, and I think this is really cool, the guy who founded Moviepass now has circled back with new investors and purchased the company back from bankruptcy, and they're relaunching Moviepass. And so the new Moviepass will be debuting Labor Day. So if you're into, I don't know, just Google Moviepass, you'll find it, you'll learn. But if you want to, they say that they're not going to do the unlimited movies in the beginning. This is a beta test for the new rollout, and they're not going to do unlimited movies. And that was the thing. My friends were like, dude, it's unlimited movies. You can go to any movie you want. But I only want to go to like one movie every 6 months. Okay, then this ain't for you. But what else is trending? House of Dragon is trending. Ooh, the Game of Thrones prequel debuted last night on HBO Max, and at 8:07, the show started at 8. At 8:07, HBO Max, the app, had a massive crash. And were there angry people? There were people like myself. I've waited a long time. I'm very interested in House of Dragon because I love Game of Thrones. I think Game of Thrones is like the best. Oh, it's so good. Anyway, so I'm very intrigued by House of Dragon, even though I know. Well, I'll tell you what. So I watched it last night, and I know that I said that I probably wasn't even going to get to watch it until like 8 weeks from now, because I don't want to just watch it episodically. I don't want to just watch one episode, then I have to wait a week and then watch another episode and then wait a week. I want to be able to like be like, all right, it's Saturday night at 7:30 and I'm not doing anything tonight. How about I rattle off 5 episodes of House of Dragons? That's what I want to be able to do. However, with that said, I am so excited about the series. I did, and I had this plan going in. I always intended to watch the very first episode. I just want to watch the very first. And now I won't watch it for like 6 weeks. And then in 6 weeks, I'll just boom, and I'll binge through it or whatever. So let's give you, as someone who loves, unashamedly happy to admit that Game of Thrones is one of my top 3 shows, and that I didn't have a problem at all with the 6th season. That's another bit of program. The 6th season sucked. And what did you want to have happen? But you've been watching this for 6 years. This is all we cared about. Who gets the throne? They told us who gets the throne. What, you don't like who won the Game of Thrones? So now the 6th season sucks because that's not what you... Oh, shut up. It was fine. It was fine. If you were that invested in the series, you didn't hate the final episode. I loved the final episode. Whatever. Game of Thrones, great. So I watched House of Dragons last night, and I was very, the pedigree is there. It's got the HBO production team. It's got the well-established storyline. Like we understand what's going on. We understand where in the history of this mythical place where this is taken. It's all, especially if you're a big fan of Game of Thrones like I am. So I watched the first episode, House of Dragons. It's almost exclusively about the Targaryen family, whereas Game of Thrones was about like 5 or 6 different families who were all competing for the throne. This one is just about the Targaryens. Targaryens had dragons. That's why they're more interesting. So I watched the full first hour of House of Dragon. It's so good. It's so good. It's so good to have Game of Thrones back. The next 5 weeks are going to be absolute torture because I want to watch like 4 more episodes right now. I want to know all about Daemon Targaryen. I need to know more about this dude. I'm intrigued. So that's why House of Dragons is trending. What else do we have here? What else is trending? Bennifer is trending today. That's right. Remember Bennifer? We're bringing that back. We are, because Ben Affleck and Jennifer Lopez are married again. No, they weren't married. No, they weren't married. Were they? Whatever. They were a thing. They were Bennifer. And they went out and they both had all kinds of sex with other people. And now they're back. And they're going to die together. And they're going to be very happy together. They will. Oh, mark my word. Oh, they are not. They are together. They are now together. They have both just been complete tornadoes to every relationship that they've been in. And I relate to them. We're all in the same age group. We all would have gone to high school at the same time. They're not fooling around now. They were like, yeah, you know what? We were together when we were both like in our late 20s and really hot and big superstars. And then we got tired of each other's nonsense and we went out and had sex with everybody and anybody that we wanted. I married Jennifer Garner. Well, I was with Alex Rodriguez. So they went out and they did all of this kind of stuff. And then they're grown-ups and they're like, you know what? The best relationship that I was in was when I was with Ben Affleck. Well, the best relationship I was in was when I was with Jennifer Lopez. And then they come together in their 50s. They're both still very doable, so it's not like Jennifer Lopez is looking at, Ben Affleck and going, oh, gee, you went to shit. And he's certainly not looking at Jennifer Lopez going, oh, she went to shit. No, they're still beautiful. They still look like they're 30s. You know what? Godspeed, Bennifer. Anyway, they got married like a month ago in Hollywood, Las Vegas. And then over the weekend, they got married at Ben Affleck's house in Georgia. Again, they got remarried. The first one was kind of a surprise where it was just them. And then this weekend was a big party. Big giant party down there at Ben Affleck's Augusta, Georgia spread. Apparently he's got a spread down there. Here, this is what I thought was interesting, though, about this story. They're such a lovely couple. Do you guys hate Ben Affleck because of that programming? Remember, Ben Affleck sucks, Matt Damon good. Ben Affleck sucks, Matt Damon good. That's the programming you're supposed to hate. Ben Affleck was the worst Batman. No, he wasn't. Shut up. You're being stupid. Do you hate Ben Affleck? Is that part of your programming? Because I do not hate Ben Affleck. I do not have an opinion on Ben Affleck. Hey, it's Ben Affleck. Cool. I'm neither this way with Ben Affleck or that way with Ben Affleck. He's just Ben Affleck. Argo was awesome. I liked him as Batman. I don't know what to tell you. But so he has the big party. He has the big party at his house. Him and Jennifer Lopez, they get married there. But look, here's some of the people who are there. Okay, so, and this is what I want to talk about for a second. So just a few of the people, some of the, the ones you'd expect. You got Matt Damon. Of course, Affleck, but Matt Damon's going to be there if Affleck's there. You got Matt Damon and his wife. They showed up. Filmmaker Kevin Smith and his wife, Kevin Smith, of course, Affleck and Kevin Moran, Kevin Smith, Affleck, come on. So Affleck's there. But then also, like, with that little running group, Jason Mewes and his wife, Jordan Monsanto. Okay, so you got Matt Damon and Kevin Smith and Jason Mewes and their wives, right? That's basically what that is. How much does it suck to be Jason Mewes? Jason Mewes is Jay, right? Jay of Jay and Silent Bob. Like, that's it. That's basically his whole thing. He's with Kevin Smith, a guy who has directed numerous hit major Hollywood films. He's with Matt Damon, one of the A-list. I mean, imagine you got to hang out with them for an entire weekend. You're Jason Mewes. I mean, I'm sure it's fun to hang out with them if, like, you only saw them like once every 10 years. But I get the feeling that these people sort of work together all the time. And here's where the problem comes in. Jason Mewes cannot hang and bang with the likes of Kevin Smith and Matt Damon when they're just sitting around relaxing. There is going to be shit that is going to be suggested that Jason Mewes is going to have to go, how much money do I have? How much room do we have on our credit card? I can't hang out with Matt Damon. Matt Damon wants to run a yacht. He just asked if I wanted to go in hat. I mean, doesn't that suck? Imagine, I just felt bad. I saw Jason Mewes was there and I'm like, yeah, that's no fun. It has got to be no fun to be that guy sitting at the table and his wife. Imagine how Jason Mewes' wife feels. She's sitting there staring across the table at Matt Damon's wife. She's like, all right, I got Jay. You got Matt Damon. I'm wearing something that I bought at a really nice price from Marshall's. And, you had magic fairies knit that outfit that you're wearing for you. It would suck. Sucks. It sucks being somebody who's famous. I heard somebody say this once. I don't remember who it was, but I thought it was really interesting. They talked about how the worst place in your career to be is to be famous and broke, because that's the worst. It's because people expect certain things and you can't meet those expectations. And the way you process that is with internalizing the humiliation, and it's just bad for you. So Jason Mewes, feel bad for him. I mean, even Silent Bob is Kevin Smith, I mean, so it's like Jay and Silent Bob. It's like, well, Silent Bob didn't do anything. Yeah, he did. Silent Bob is Kevin Smith. Silent Bob is the director. Jay is the one who never did anything else and was just kind of that role. Dinosaurs are trending. They discovered cool-ass dinosaur tracks right here outside of Fort Worth. Do you guys know about this? There's this place outside of Fort Worth that's called Dinosaur Valley. You guys know about this? I didn't know about this. Lived here my whole life. Not my whole life. Lived here last, better part of the last 20 years. Had no idea there was a place right outside Fort Worth called Dinosaur Valley where there's all kinds of giant dinosaur tracks and enormous new dinosaur footprints discovered in Texas riverbed, dried by the drought. Not anymore. This story was published today at 6:17 a.m. If people were planning on rushing out to that dried riverbed here in North Texas to see the newly discovered dinosaur footprints, nope, not happening. Previously submerged dinosaur footprints have been uncovered in Texas in the wake of a drought-driven drying of a river. The Paluxy River, never heard of it, which flows through Dinosaur Valley State Park. I've never heard of Dinosaur Valley State Park. It says it's outside Fort Worth. Dinosaur Valley State Park, around 50 miles southwest of Fort Worth, is home to a variety of dinosaur prints, mostly from ancient sauropods and theropods. This is the first time that the riverbed tracks have been seen. A video posted by Dinosaur. Here, I'm going to show them to you because it's cool. I mean, it's really cool. But I'm such a dope. If I was out there, I would just think that's just a hole in the ground. I wouldn't put together to me that, oh, that's a footprint. That's a giant. That's not just a big puddle. That's not a pothole. That's a giant footprint. All right, so here we are. I like dinosaur stuff, so maybe I'm nerding out here, but what can I think? I want to go there. I want to go. I did not know that there was a place that is in relative driving distance. You could go spend a day and you could walk on dinosaur footprints and stuff like that. And that's not a museum. It's just like out there, like holy cow, dinosaurs were. I don't know. I just think that's cool. All right, so here we'll footprints. Look at that! Look at that thing! Yeah. Look at that. See, I would just walk right by that. I would be like, it's just a puddle. I don't know, just a hole in the ground. No, it's like a dinosaur footprint. So badass. Let's see if there's any more. What's that? Huge dinosaur tracks appear after drought. All right. Well, download the full pic. Okay, you're not gonna. Oh, look at those. Look at those. Isn't that neat? Can you guys see that? Is that too small for you? Look at that. A bunch of look at the little dinosaur footprints. All right, very cool. Yeah, so look, Dinosaur Valley. Now I got a thing to do with my kid. Hey, we're gonna go out to Dinosaur Valley. I'd be like, I never heard of it. April, Glen Rose, is that where it is? April, out in that area? Ross Rubio says, I call my condo community Dinosaur Valley. That's a good one. Brady went camping in Dinosaur Valley in March. How come I didn't know? How come? I don't know. Never heard of it. Seems like if I did hear someone over the past 20 years or so say something like, yeah, we went out there, fishing out there by Dinosaur Valley. Like hearing Dinosaur Valley put together as a place around here would have stuck in my head. Like I'd be like today reading this, I'd be like, oh yeah, I've heard of Dinosaur Valley. I've never heard of Dinosaur Valley. It's 50 miles outside of Fort Worth. I've never heard of Dinosaur Valley. And I'm a dinosaur guy. Haley Davidson is trending today. Who is Haley Davidson? I'd never heard of her either, but she's trending. And this is, here's who she is. God love her. You know where we're going. Whenever I say God love her. Hey, Godspeed. Godspeed, Haley Davidson, 29. She's a golfer, and she is set to become the first transgender woman to win a coveted Ladies Professional Golf Association tour card. The LPGA is granted a tour card to 29-year-old Haley Davidson, who is a transgender woman. So there you go. Haley Davidson, 29, is on her way to becoming the first transgender woman to earn an LPGA Tour card after success in the first 2 days of the Stage 1 qualifier. She shot a 70 on Thursday and hit a 76 during the second round on Friday. According to the LPGA's rules, any player who shoots under 88 after all three rounds will earn a 2023 Epsom Tour card. Davidson last competed as a male golfer in 2015. He then underwent hormone therapy, and she completed her transition in 2021. She said she now hits the ball 15 miles per hour slower and labeled the majority of criticisms against her dream of competing as transphobic. The LPGA Tour has removed its female at birth requirement. They did this back in 2010. Okay. We're seeing this, we are seeing the transgender in sports issue is popping up in, any number of areas. But I have a very honest question. This is an honest question. And I think that it's going to be difficult for some people to answer. Not because knowing what to answer is difficult, coming to the conclusion, but because actually saying it is going to be difficult to say it out loud for many people. But here's my question about this. Born a man, golfed as a man, then transitioned, and is now golfing as a female. This person. We have the swimmer at Penn. Born a man, swam as a man, went through the hormones, and then started swimming as a woman. The first time that I ever heard of this was the Fallon Fox, who was an MMA fighter. Born a man, fought as a professional MMA fighter as a man, took hormones, transitioned, became a female fighter. Okay. And there's many more. I could go on, but those are three of the high profile ones. The two of them just from, this era. The other one, the original one that I remember. If there isn't an advantage held by individuals born as a man who then transition into women's sports, if there isn't an advantage to that, which a lot of critics, that's the problem a lot of critics have. You're born a man. Yes, but I'm a woman now, and I'm a woman now. Yeah, but you still have male shoulders and male muscle mass and male bone density and all of these other things. Okay, so that's the criticism that you hear. Why has it not gone the other way? Why has a professional female athlete or an amateur athlete, to be fair, but somebody who's dedicated their life to an athletic endeavor, why isn't it going the other? Why has a trans man never, played offensive guard in the NFL, right? I mean, why? So if there is no advantage from starting out as a man and then transitioning into a woman and then still being able to compete at a high level in the sport that you want, if there's no advantage there, then why doesn't it go the other way? Why hasn't an athlete who started out as a woman transitioned to a man and still been right? So, I mean, I think the answer there is kind of obvious, but there are a lot of people out there who would refuse to answer that question. And that kind of disingenuous discourse and these very complicated new issues that we can all come to some common ground if we just tether ourselves to decency, kindness, and a willingness to all get along. We can get through these times. But you can't be disingenuous. You got to admit that a guy who was an MMA fighter who then took some hormones, became a woman, and started fighting women had an advantage. You have to admit that the swimmer at Penn had an advantage. Bigger, you saw him standing on the podium, bigger, wider, stronger, and now we've got a golfer. So, that is a very honest question, and I don't mean it. Well, okay, so a bit tongue-in-cheeky, because I know what the answer is that it wouldn't work going the other way. It is only an advantage if you start out as a physically superior piece of clay. Physically superior. I didn't say superior. I said physically superior. If you're built with a man's bone structure and a man's size and a man's speed and a man's explosiveness, if you start from there, it appears that when you transition into a woman, there are some benefits to that because there's a lot more of that going this way than starting from a girl and then transitioning into, I don't know. Interesting times we live in, like I say. Just try to have these conversations and be respectful. Just try to be respectful. You're not better than anybody. When you judging, weirdo, you don't get to judge people. People are people. So why should it be? But I don't know. I think that's an interesting question that I would like to hear somebody. I'd like to hear an advocate for the Penn swimmer or this golfer or whoever. And I'm not against it. I don't care. I don't watch women swimming. So whether or not it's an even playing field and fair for everybody involved, I don't care. I don't care. Whatever. Good for her. Let her do it. Good. Fine. Whatever. Might be different if I had a daughter who was, on scholarship and worked her whole life to compete at the collegiate level and now was suddenly getting smoked by somebody who, what else do we have here? So that's why Haley Davidson is trending. Finally, these are just the ones. This is the last one that I had prepared for you today. This is Baker Mayfield. The Carolina Panthers have named Baker Mayfield as their starter for week 1. Sam Darnold. Sorry, Sam. Poor Sam Darnold. Poor Sam Darnold's going to ride pine down there. And apparently, it wasn't even a contest. Apparently, Baker Mayfield went down there and just smoked Sam Darnold. Wasn't even close. Wasn't even hard. And that's it. Oh, wait, there is one other thing. There is a viral video that is going around that I think is really funny. I saw this twice. I saw it yesterday and I saw it again today. And I thought, that'd be funny to show. So this is some dude making some industrial film. like for a company or something, like boring shit that when you get hired by a company, you have to sit in the conference room and watch some, VCR tapes of pre-produced stuff. Welcome to Pugs Core. You got to watch these things. So some dude is making some stupid, lame industrial documentary like that. And he's walking down a street in New York. And out of nowhere, he gets a very big guest star out of nowhere. It's pretty funny. Hold on, let's see if we can. Oh, this buffering is it's killing me. It's killing me, Smalls. It's killing me. Okay, so here we'll watch the video. I won't tell you who the guest star is. We'll just watch him pop up, and it'll be fun, and we'll all laugh, and then we'll go do whatever we need to do on this call. Watch this. Okay, because of the buffering, they're doing everything.
The interesting thing.
All right, so look, he's just.
They call it pyroprocessing, but it's a molten salt process. They're dissolving.
Friggin' George Lucas! George Lucas, the creator of Star Wars, just happens to walk across the street right behind the camera.
This thing in a molten salt, and they're doing electrochemistry on it. Why don't they call it molten salt? The interesting thing is they call it pyroprocessing, but it's a molten salt process. They're dissolving this thing in a molten salt, and they're doing electrochemistry on it. Why don't they?
That's pretty much George Lucas's uniform, right? Like, isn't that like when you close your eyes and imagine what George Lucas could possibly be wearing right now? Isn't that exactly what you imagine George Lucas is wearing right now? That's it. That's exactly it. All right, I like that. I think that's funny. George Lucas just pops in out of nowhere. I got nothing else, gangsters. I got, it's a little bit early today. You know what I'm going to do? You know what I'm going to do for you? I'm going to do it for you, from me to you. We'll spend a little bit of time here. Although I got to be honest. So I turned my air conditioning off last night because it started the temperature, when the rain started to roll through, the temperature just started to drop. Turned my air conditioning off. It's been off since probably 8, 9 o'clock last night. And now I got to be honest, it's hot in here. What kind of temperatures are we dealing with here? Now, we can't play heat wave poker, mind you, but see what kind of temperatures. What are we dealing with right now? So I might have to turn the air on for a couple of minutes. 73. I got 73. Guys, where are you at? What do you got in the test? 73. Why is it hot in here? It's got to be at least 80 degrees in here. Good Lord. Just open up a window. I can't open a window because then, it'll be all humid. That's no good. We don't like that. All right, let's see. What else is trending? Something new? Anything new? Dallas. Dallas is still trending, boy. Dallas is, okay. Fauci is trending. We talked about that. Some new video game called Saints Row is trending. King of Pop. Rolling Stone UK's cover story calling Harry Styles the King of Pop has drawn some criticism. Whatever. There's so why would calling in 2022? Why would calling Harry Styles the King of Pop be a problem? Because that's what we called Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson fucked up and killed himself. Michael Jackson doesn't deserve that title. Michael Jackson was the King of Pop back when he was cranking out pop songs and he was alive. He's not alive now. You can't just have, he's just not the King of Pop forever, They're a bunch of kings. When kings die, a new king rises. So, I don't know. And I don't even know if Harry Styles is the King of Pop. I don't know. I don't even know. Barely know who Harry Styles is, other than a guy that I'm sure Jason Sudeikis would like to punch right in the kisser. Baker Mayfield is trending because what I told you there. Panthers officially announced Baker Mayfield as their starting quarterback. Okay, anything else? Dallas is trending. Look at us, boy. Let's see what's going on with the Dallas trends. Let's see what we got. Anything? What are people posting? Why are we trending? Why are we so popular? Let's see. Yeah, okay. All right, why not? Here, let's just scroll through some of these. Why not? Okay. So let's see what people are posting about our fair town today. Last videos. All right. All right. I'm just so... yeah, you know, okay, so it's just a lot of like bad pictures and stuff. There's no, if I find anything good. Oh my goodness, where is this? Okay, so let's look at this. Oh, what is that? Okay. And I can't tell, like, I don't know if it's just because early morning is that what we're talking about. It's just like 5 in the morning. It's kind of dark, but it's also raining. Oh, sorry. I'm getting I can't. I got one window open here and I can't get to play. Buffering. Look at that. Can you see it? Is it sharing? Yeah, it is. Okay. That's an expressway. Those are cars like in the middle of the water. What? Where is this? Why are those cars so far in the water? Well, okay, because it's a flash flood. Because the water come out of it. Okay, I understand. See, stupid me shouts out something dumb. Thoughtful me. It's a flash flood, stupid. It's not like they were like, I'm gonna try it. All right. Let's see what else we got here. Let's just scroll through these. Dallas. I'll tell you what. We'll just do this. We'll just go through these. See what people are saying. My sister's pond is half full already. She's 2 hours east of that. Okay, great. I don't know what that means. At 1 p.m., the 24-hour rain totals ranged from 15.6 in East Dallas to 0.08 at McKinney Airport, just 25 miles away. Wow. Because, I was up in Plano, and Plano got some water, but McKinney's, just a little bit north of that. Maybe that's where it stopped. What's going on here? What's this? Yeah. Okay. I think this is the video that we saw before. Let's see if there's any new video that we can look at. Come on, people. You're not posting enough cool pictures. What's this? Might have stalled out right in the middle of that. Ground. Where is that? Do we know? Let's watch this again. Let's see if we can figure out where this is. Come on, Dallas Fort Worth investigators. Oh, that car! Listen to that. That car's exhaust completely underwater. It's like a boat. All right. Points to all you pick-up driving idiots. Today's one of them days when we're better. So where you see street signs? I have no idea where that is. There's that guy again. Let's see. There's got to be some other good videos. All right, this is taking too long. What's this? Okay, let's see what's happening here.
Submerged. She didn't realize when she was driving in. This is Stephanie Carroll. That is her vehicle that is submerged. she didn't realize was driving in literally less than 10 minutes ago. And Stephanie, I'm glad you're okay. What was that like for you?
I thought I was dying. I thought I was going down.
She literally, as I was standing there setting up for the shot, guys, pulled in, didn't realize it. The next thing you know, her car is floating. So I went out there, tried to push her vehicle the best I could, as close as it literally is floating, so it's quite easy to push. And then Stephanie...
So, she's... God love her. God, I'd give you a big hug if I could. But you saw the water, and you continued to drive forward. You didn't go...
We realized that wasn't going to happen to get her to ground, so pulled her out of the window. Stephanie, I've never been in a situation like this where I've seen... Are you okay?
I'm okay. I'm okay by the grace of God.
When you came up to this area, you didn't see this water, is that right?
I didn't see anything. I thought I was just about to drive. I go this way every day to get my daughter.
And what was I can't even, and I know this sounds
ridiculous
for me to even ask, but when you first got submerged and were floating, what was going through your head?
I was gonna die. Yeah, I was gonna drown. I can swim, but yeah, this is. They need to put like God. Everybody be careful out here.
She got no answers. You can't blame her. I got no answers. I don't know. We fix this. It's flat. When a lot of water falls from the sky and the water has nowhere to run off to, it's gonna puddle. It's gonna puddle in places, and in those places that it puddles, there's gonna be flooding. That's just the law of the land. That's just what's happening. Okay, let's watch this one. This looks like a rescue in progress. Let's see what this is all about. Okay. That's an underpass. Look at the dude swimming. The dude is just doing like a breaststroke. Good Lord. And how is that car? It's like its ass. The car's ass isn't submerged, or is it? Look at the people. That is crazy. Oh my God. What's going on here? This, again, flash floods, right? I mean, this just happened out of nowhere. You're just driving, and all of a sudden, a wave, you start flooding. I don't know. I don't know how it works. I don't have all that much experience with flash floods, but I will not be leaving the house today. All right, let's see what this is now. This is like this morning when I was taking my kid to school. Look at that. Oh my God, that's the windshield. Oh no, wait, get out. Get out, you're underwater. How is the car still running?
We are literally underwater.
How is this car still running? Holy crap. Why are you there? Why is this guy doing this? Well, I mean, if he makes it, then, that's why he's doing it. USA. And he's on dry land. Look at him. All right, so he's got one of those, like, big ass trucks. So he's got a big, giant truck with one of those honk, honk, and we still see him go underwater here. That's how deep it is. Look at that. That's the...
Wow, I've never seen this before.
Wow. That is crazy. Crazy. All right. What do we got going on right now? Is it raining still? Yeah, all right. It's drizzling. And now it's just irritating raining, right? It's not storming, which can be nice because that's like, climb in bed and, I don't know, maybe put on a movie. A good excuse to maybe just put on a movie at 2:00 in the afternoon on a Monday afternoon. But it's not even that. It's just like it's too wet to go outside and do anything. It's raining. It's wet. It's not even good sleeping weather. Lightning every once in a while, a little bit of rolling thunder to sort of ease you into your slumber. No, none of that. That's all past. Now it's just drizzling. Now it's just going to drizzle for 5 hours. Although we're supposed to get more big storms, so we'll see how that. I don't know. They say that it's gonna crush the south of Dallas. So I don't know what that means. Let's see what this is. Is this flooding? What do we got?
This is what I woke up to.
Where are these people? Holy cow! This is outside their window. What do they got? One of those cool. This is like those cool loft apartments, maybe over by I don't know Victory Park or Plaza or whatever that is.
This is what I woke up to. Middle of the night.
Cool apartment. Oh my God! Look at those chairs. Look at how much. The legs of the chairs are completely underwater. My God, that's 2.5 feet of water right there. That is oh my God.
There is nothing due at this point. We cannot get out of my loft. It is to open the windows and stay up there, hoping it obviously doesn't rise up to the second floor, but send help.
Does she have power? Is there power on? Because the power needs to be cut off to that place.
This is what I woke up to.
I can't see any.
Middle of the night.
Okay, well, this is a light. There seems to be there's light. Just get out of it. Cut the power off to that place.
We can't
have standing water like that. Oh God.
It's to open the windows and stay up there, hoping it obviously doesn't rise up to the second floor. But
wow.
Send help.
My God. I mean, it's like you understand it if there's like a river that overflows, or if you're on the banks of some particularly troubling body of water that it tends to, throw its waves up at your streets every once in a while, or a hurricane, or if there's, how do you explain this? This was just, it rained really hard, and it was bad. I tell people all the time that when I first moved down here, the first time I was ever exposed to a real thunder, you people in Texas don't get it. Texas thunder is a good 50% louder than Midwestern thunder. The thunder that the loudest thunderclap that I ever heard growing up in the suburbs of Chicago is nowhere near an average thunderclap that I hear living here in Texas. And I asked, who was it? I asked one of the weather guys here in town the question once, and they said it's because it's flat. It's a clapback. The sound comes from the sky, hits the ground, bounces right back. So there's like an echo effect, so that the thunder really is louder in Texas. Other places where it's, the topography is a little bit different, where it's rolling and maybe lush and there's bodies of water, the sound is absorbed differently. So you hear it slightly differently. But in Texas, thunder is crazy. I love it. Last night was so great to sleep through. Also, there was some anxiety involved as well. Don't get me wrong, because like I say, you worry about tornadoes in this part of the world. You worry about tornadoes at 4:00 in the morning. That's probably when's the best time for a tornado to hit? If a tornado is going to hit 2:00 in the afternoon, most people are at work. The vast majority of us are awake. Kids are all taken care of in schools, right? 2:00. 2:00 in the morning, not a good time for a tornado to hit. Not a good time. I live in fear of the late night tornado. All right, I think that's it. Oh, some pictures, though. We got some crazy pictures. Oh, what is this? What are we looking at? Oh, is this from a bus? Is this from a DART bus? Look at that. You're pulling into work in Dallas this morning, and you're like, what the hell happened to the city? Dallas was defeated by a puddle, a giant puddle.
Damn!
Look, those cars are completely submerged.
Yeah, dog, I got it. Under the water.
I'll say this reminds me of this day right here that we're seeing and that, we're all kind of experiencing that we're having here in North Texas today. Very similar to like where I'm from in Chicago when we have a blizzard, where it's just everything is just fucked up. Nobody wants to go outside. It's like, why are we going to go outside? We can't. Roads are impassable. There's nowhere we can. That's kind of the same vibe that it feels like here. Like, I'll give you an example. I was thinking, I might want to run up to the CVS. I need to get something from CVS. CVS is 2 blocks away. But between me and the CVS is an incredibly troubling neighborhood that is completely underwater. So I don't know how I get to CVS at the moment, because just half a block from where I am right now, there's like 3 feet of standing water and all the yards are underwater. And it's not, people aren't evacuating their houses. This isn't like Katrina, And besides, the houses are all like $3.5 million houses. So, they're fine. These people are fine. But my point is, the roads are impassable. It's the same thing that I would be like if I had to go to the 7-Eleven during a blizzard. I'd be like, I don't want it. I know it's only 2 blocks away, but I don't want to do it. And that's what CVS is 2 blocks away. I don't want to do it because I don't want to deal with the water. I don't want to deal with having to make a U-turn in the middle of the street where the water is suddenly, oh boy.
Oh my God. Oh my. Bro, this is crazy, dog.
I got a question. What happens if you're in a Tesla and you get stuck in floodwaters? Does like the whole thing fritz out? Or like the first thing I thought was like, if you were like behind a Tesla and you both got hit by, like, would that be like somebody throwing a toaster into a swimming pool? You know what I mean? Would it be, is there like now a danger to other people in high floodwaters? But it wouldn't, because it's a battery, and the battery would at some point probably, he must have thought of this. There's no way Elon Musk didn't think about. So I don't know. But I was thinking about that. I was like, what happens with a Tesla? Because like, I know that like combustion engines, when you try and make it through high standing water, sometimes shit gets wet and the engine is going to stall out. If everything gets too wet, the spark plugs get wet and all that stuff, the car will die and you will sit there in a dead car with rising water. Does that happen with a Tesla? Do electric cars still have that? Or are electric cars better for this or worse for this? Like, is this like the worst thing that can happen to an electric car? Or is it like, nah, electric car, you just jetson right through that shit? I don't know. But because of electricity and water, I'm like, boy, I bet this is like twice as damaging to a Tesla. But then you see a regular car completely underwater and you're like, that car's totaled. So when we're talking about both cars being totaled, who cares which one is totaled more? All right, that's it. We're going to be done. All right, we'll come back tonight, Pillow Talk. We'll do Pillow Talk. Pugs and Parker proudly present Pillow Talk here on the Radio Misfits podcast platform, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. Appreciate you joining me here today for today's very special high noon edition. Very special because we're going through some things here in Dallas today. I also have to run across to the big house. I have to run across the property here at the 1%er compound. I have to get something out of the deep freezer. And I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it because it's rainy. And not only that, but the steps from the guest house down around the pool area through the property into the backyard. Very slippery when it rains. I could injure myself. Now that I'm putting this all together, I don't want to go to CVS. I don't even want to walk across the property. I think maybe I'm just lazy. And then I'm looking at the current climate, the current weather situation, and I'm going, oh, these are good excuses for me to just explore my laziness. Yep, that's where we are. Never ending quest. Do you think gas cars aren't electric? Well, I certainly know that there is a large degree of circuitry involved with a combustion engine, but Adam, I think you're being a bit disingenuous. You know what I mean when I talk about the difference between an electric car and a combustion engine car. Yeah, I know. Gas cars will short too, but they're not 100% electric. I'm just wondering. I'm not going to let M get my goat ever again. Not going to take the bait. Jeff Ballard. Again, Pug, show us the video. I'm sorry, man. What video? You might have typed that like an hour ago. I apologize. What video? If there's a video, I'll show it. If not, I can't. See if there's any new video. 401. I ain't got. Oh, you know what? Here, we haven't checked in on the fire and rescue in a bit. Let's see what the latest is here. Just sit here and wait till we hear something. Isn't that gross? That's like the grossest thing.
Engine 3.
Tibbs, go ahead. Don't disregard, it's no wreck.
Oh, I get it now.
Tibbs, receive, appreciate it.
All right. So apparently there was a problem with the videos that are sharing. I'm sorry about that. Let me go
We're
back.
clear.
Then.
We'll take that welfare check off the truck.
3 to engine 3, we got it. Now go home.
So none of those cool ass videos that I showed got shown. Oh my God. Oh well. Well, just go to just. We were not able to see anything you were looking at the last half. Really? Why weren't they showing up? Because I checked and they're showing up over here. Oh, I'm so tired of these things. All right, that's okay. We'll do it again. I'll show them to you again. They were that cool. Let me see if I can do this again differently. Hold on. Yeah. Okay. No, I'll never same videos. Never be able to find them. No. Hey, what's this one? All right, here's somebody. Okay, so here's one. We look at this one. Let's see. See that one? Is that one showing? Okay, see, now it's showing on my end, but it was showing on my end last time too. I don't know.
Crazy.
All right, what is this? Another loft? This looks like this loft area. This is probably the same.
Bro, this is crazy.
Just came in from the outside.
Wow, wake up, cuz I hear it. Fucking blue bubbles.
Why is it poop water too? Why is it like brown poop water? Oh, God. Ugh. Right, there you go. There's that one. Great. I'm never gonna find the good ones that I had last time, and they're not downloading quick enough. Guys, let's just call it a show. We'll laugh about years from now. We'll laugh about this. Down the road I'll travel, far from the comfort nest. I am on a never-ending quest. Tomorrow is another day. The best is yet to come. I have found a different way, so baffling to some. All right, I got nothing else. I can smile a little now. Things are going good. I always had to be on guard. That is understood. Down the road I'll travel. All right, guys, we'll talk to you tonight, 9 o'clock, Pillow Talk. Pugs and Parker proudly present Pillow Talk on the Radio Misfits podcast platform. We'll see you then. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Stay dry. This is not... programming. I almost just said, this is not fun. This is fun. This is fun. This is a different day. This is something different. This is not a typical Monday. So why do we got to be like, oh, this is the worst? It's not the worst. It's not the worst. We'll be fine. We'll survive. Some people are having bad days. That's not you. So count your blessings. It's a good day. Bye, everybody.
quest.